guys, it's Emily. So before we jump into this very long reading vlog, I just wanted to address something just because it's been a while since I posted a video, so I just wanted to address it before I get back into posting videos. First of all, I made this video before before June and stuff like that. It was filmed back in May, so it's been filmed quite a while ago. I just wanted to address the Black Lives Matter movement that has been happening, and I wanted to say that I'm in full support of it. I am very saddened by what has happened. I'm getting the words quite out exactly as I want to say them. I am full support of Black Lives Matter, and I think it completely matters, and that I'm kind of still trying to learn and listen. I have, over this course of time, realized that I do need to change a bit with the books I'm reading. It's not like it was ever intentional for me to I feel like I don't pick up a lot of books by Black authors, and while that wasn't intentional, I do realize the mistake in that. That is something I definitely want to change and have been on the lookout for, especially this past month. I'm going to continue to do, so I will apologize for that because I feel like that's something I just needed to do. I want to find more diverse books to read. It's something I have strived to do, even if it has been a bit, I guess, minimal. It's something I definitely want to explore more of, and especially now it's something I've very much looked into a lot more. I will be leaving some links to petitions in the description down below, and if you can donate, that's great, but if you can't, there are other ways to donate. So I will link other videos where the AdSense is going towards charities and stuff like that down below in this video. So, but yeah, I just wanted to quickly address that before we jump into this vlog, but without further ado, let's jump into this reading vlog. Hey guys, it's Emily, and welcome back to another reading vlog. It is Monday, so it's the start of another week. So let's jump into what I'm currently reading. I've been trying to read The Silence Between Us for a little while. I'm quite enjoying it. I'm holding it upside down. Just haven't really physically read a lot recently, so I would like to pick this up this week and finish it, and then move on to something else. I have a couple things I would like to pick up, but so far I'm loving this book and I'm quite enjoying it. And then the audiobook I currently have picked up is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the first book in the, was it Starbound? I don't know. It's a trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy of companion novels about love stories set in space. I picked up the audiobook of this because I tried physically reading it before, and I don't know why, it was just really hard for me to physically read this book, so I think the audiobook is just the better way to go, especially with sci-fi. I don't know, I have a hard time reading fantasy books by myself. I need an audiobook for it, and I feel like that's kind of the same with sci-fi, depending on the sci-fi book, but we're going to just continue with the audiobook of this one. So far I actually really like the audiobook. There's these little interview portions where they've been interviewing Tarver, and there's just, it doesn't, I guess, say the line between a major and I guess Tarver about what happens in this book, and they've had another guy who's interviewing him, which I really like, and I think that kind of helps me a bit. I don't know, I really like that cast kind of thing. I don't say full cast, but for those scenes there's more of a cast, so I do like that. I think I'm enjoying it more than I did when I originally started reading it a few years ago. I'm going to continue on with this book. I'm excited to read more of it, and yeah, it should be good. It should be a fun time. I'm on chapter 2, so I just started this. I would like to get through most of this today, because, or at least try to finish it best I can today, because tomorrow The Betrothed by Kiera Cass comes out, which I'm so excited for. This is Kiera Cass's first book, I feel since the Selection series ended. Maybe the Siren might have come out between then, but I feel the Siren is also I haven't read the Siren, the new version. I've read the old version, but not the new one. Kiera Cass is one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Selection series, which I feel everyone's been talking about lately because it's finally getting a Netflix movie adaptation. And so I'm going to pick up The Betrothed. Audiobook. I'm pretty sure it's like a duology, so like the second book comes out like sometime next year. But still, I would like to pick this up because I'm so excited to read it, and I'm so excited to see what she has been writing since the selection. And I'm pretty sure I hopefully will love this. I'm hoping I will. We have the pre-order of it, so like my whole family's probably gonna be reading it at the same time. I'm excited to pick this one up. As for like Love Struck, I don't think I've really told you about choices in Love Struck lately because I haven't really been playing a lot. I did play, I played this yesterday, but like we're just gonna count it in this vlog, I guess. Cal's, the end of his season ended yesterday, and I'm upset about it. The gist of it is I enjoyed it, but the plot twist kind of made me mad. I've been waiting for something to happen for a while, and like I expected it to happen at the end of the season, and it was just about to happen, and then they ended it. That's the most non-spoilery I can get. I love Cal. He's like one of my favorite Love Struck routes. He's in my top 4, I think. He's in my top 4. I'm excited to see where season 3 goes, where it takes us. I have wanted to get back into Love Struck this week, so I don't know what I'm gonna pick up from that. But I would like to pick something up. I might catch up on like some of my favorite routes because I'm behind on like about everything except for Cal and Zane, but I don't think Zane's coming back anymore. As for choices goes, I'm currently behind on a lot of choices books. I played the newest Royal Heir chapter, but I think that's all I've played this week, so I need to catch up on, I need to play Witness, I guess. That's my last, honestly that's the last priority on my list, is playing Witness, because like it's a diamond thing. I need to finish the chapter of Distant Shores, and then I need to play Blades of Light and Shadow, and then I guess I'll play Witness, and then I'm going to go back to my hero playing. So that's what's on the agenda. Right now I'm going to go have some food, listen to more of this book, and I'll update you on whatever I'm reading. Hey guys, so it's like, I think 4-ish, 5 p.m. almost. I've been basically distracted this whole day. I've read, not been distracted by that. I mean, this is, I guess, partially a distraction, but I mean, for the most part, it's other things. But I've been reading These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I'm really liking it so far. I think it's really good. I think it's interesting to read. It's about, I don't think I discussed what it was about before, but it's about these two characters, Lilac and Tarver. Lilac is kind of this like rich girl, and Tarver's like I think he's part in the army or something like that, and they were on this ship together at the same time, and they had to escape the ship. It was going down, something was happening, and so they managed to get into an escape pod together and crash landed onto some planet that there's no other people on, so they're on this entire planet all by themselves, and they're looking for like a civilization on the planet, but they can't find anybody, so it's just the two of them, and they kind of can't stand each other a little bit. So we're getting some development. It's very slow burn, which I'm loving that, but we're getting some development with the relationship, which is exciting, but it's also really fun just like reading about them. Like, they have great banter. They are like wandering through the woods and stuff. I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad I am. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much the first time around when I started reading this, but like I think over time, like now reading this, like I definitely like it. I think more than when I first started reading it. I wasn't crazy about it. So I feel like the beginning was hard to get into when I first read it, maybe because I was reading it physically, whereas I feel like when listening to the audiobook, it like really helps me immerse me in the world, and I love how they do the interview sequences. I think I mentioned it before, but I just really like how they do that. I'm currently on page, I don't know if I have to do, I'm on page 169 currently, so I'm getting close to halfway through this book. I'd like to continue on and finish it today if possible. I'm in a space-ish mood now. Space love stories, that's it. I do have some other space books that I've been wanting to get to for the longest time, so maybe I'll pick those up. There's also one I've been just like interested in. I think I'm gonna put the second audiobook on hold as well. I don't have a physical copy with me. This is a library book though too, but I had taken this out just before our library shut down temporarily. In general, I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm having such a day. I couldn't really concentrate on schoolwork at all, and concentrating on schoolwork at home is really difficult for me, and just with this like depressing demeanor around all the time, and like all this stuff with like going on, and like my family constantly talking about it, it's kind of difficult to like get work done right now. So that's not really helping. Today I'm just like having a really off day, so I'm not having the greatest day. But overall, what you can be happy about in a day like this is the fact that this book exists and I'm reading it and it's good. Like, compared to like all the other crap I've been reading lately, like this is the light in the dark. All the stuff I've been reading, I feel like I'm calling them like trashy novels. And I didn't hate most of them, but a lot of that, oh, actually that's a lie. I did hate most of them, or I had a strong dislike towards most of them, or they just weren't for me and they didn't really help me at all. I think I'm finally getting out of that. I don't think I'm giving this 3 stars. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars as of right now, halfway through it, but that could obviously change. Maybe I can get 5 stars, maybe I'll get 3 stars, who knows, but right now I think it's a 4 star, solid 4 star. It was hyped a while, like years ago. I remember this book was talked about so often, and now I feel like Amy Kaufman is more known for the Illuminae files. That series is super hyped, and I own the first 2 books in that series. That one I kind of want to read. I have the audiobook for it because I've realized I really like this full cast kind of thing. So I have the audiobook, but I also own the physical copies for both Illuminae and Gemina. So I might pick that up as well. And I'd like to, you know, like listen to the audiobook while physically reading it is my plan for that one. I'll see you guys later on with another update. Alright, so it's like almost midnight. It's like 11 o'clock. I listened to like a little bit more of the audiobook of these Broken Stars. I didn't get to read as much as I wanted. I'm on page 204, around there somewhere. It's like pretty late at night now, so I'm going to continue reading this as I fall asleep. That's really the main basic plan. I'm really enjoying this book. I feel like my enjoyment from the last time I updated you has just gone up. I'm really enjoying the plot line. I'm enjoying where the story is going. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next. It's a book that's making me happy. I feel like besides like The Silence Between Us, like I haven't really been reading books that have made me happy. Like I just want to get to the end of them because I'm so done with them. This one I'm just like taking my time and enjoying, but when I pick it up, like I genuinely want to read it and I want to know what happens next. So I'm quite enjoying this book so far, and I'm going to continue reading it. I'm excited to see what the story's gonna go, what has gonna happen between our 2 main characters, all the things. So that's all for now. Hey Teddy, Daddy. I'm not interested right now. He just came to hang out in my room, so. Wow. What was that? It is Tuesday today. I have my coffee. It's like 12 p.m. right now. And I've been reading somewhat. I've been listening to the audiobook of these Broken Stars. I haven't read a single thing of this with my eyeballs. Maybe I should. I should probably, because I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the only thing I'm really doing while listening to this audiobook is playing Webkinz. I feel like I can't really do schoolwork because my brain just wants to listen to this. Like, if there's like a part where I'm like, I don't quite care about this as much compared to the other stuff, then sure. But I love this book. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I love this book. I think it's so great, so wonderful. I think it just does a good job at what it's trying to portray. I love the whole survival aspect. I feel like I like survival stories. As much as they can sometimes gross me out, I feel like I like them. That's, like, I don't know, like, survival stories with, like, 2 characters are trapped somewhere alone, and then typically they also fall in love along the way. It's, like, also kind of terrifying at the same time, in a sense, and you're, like, wondering things about these people, and, like, I'm getting worried about them. For some reason I felt anxious reading this. I don't know where that came from. Like, I just had, like, this, like, feeling in my chest where I just, like, felt anxious about it, like when I picked this book up, like, today, I don't know why, and then, like, it went away. Where's that? Look, Teddy Kim's up here. Do you hear? I'm in the book. Isn't that cute? Hi. The love story is so cute, like, just seeing the characters, like, they got together at this point in time. They're cute, they're being cute together, and it's just, like, it makes my heart warm seeing them together, but, like, I don't want anything bad to happen to them. Like, I'm worried about the ending of this book. I just really want them to be, like, happy together forever. And I'm worried, like, I'm pretty sure they get rescued just based on the fact that we keep seeing, like, Tarver, like, talking to someone and explaining things, in some sort of interview, which does, like, hint at the fact that they're gonna get rescued in some capacity or some way. And I'm curious what this whole interview thing's about. Maybe just, like, to report on their experiences and what happened, and I think along those lines. I haven't looked at what the second book is about, but I know it follows different characters, but I think it takes place in the same world. I'm excited to read that one as well. I've put a hold on it. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I did put a hold on the second book, so I have, like, 2 weeks to wait for that one, and I'm going to probably jump into it pretty quickly, because I'm adoring this one so much. I'm loving it more than I expected to, which is great. Because I think I mentioned I was a bit apprehensive because I remember when I first started reading it, I was not crazy. I love the space. I think it puts you really well into the situation. You can really feel the characters' emotions, and you can kind of, like, they give you good visualizations, but, like, not that it's, like, too much that you're like, oh no, but, like, you're also, like, at the same time kind of grossed out at some things, and, like, as the characters are, like, they are human, and, like, they're grossed out by these things, and yeah. I know I was, like, kind of pretty hyped in BookTube, like, so many years ago, like, back when I was in middle school, and, like, that's when I wanted to read this book, when the whole series was coming out, but then I never picked it up, and now I'm finally getting around to it. Today, I have to do homework. Have I done that yet? No. I also need to write an essay. Have I started on this essay yet? No. Yesterday was not a great concentration day, and I feel like I'm kind of going down on this spiral, where I'm just like, I can't concentrate on anything. I should probably go. Goodbye for now. So it's like 5 p.m. now. I was listening to some songs for voice lessons, and I just needed something to do while listening to those songs, and I didn't really want to pick up these Broken Stars, so I would just, like, for one, take all my attention away, and for two, I'd like listening to the audiobook of that one. I didn't feel like physically reading parts of it, so I picked up this book. This is the second volume in the Kiss Him Not Me series. I liked it. It was, I feel like, less problematic than the first one, but like there wasn't really any issues I had with this one, so I don't really know what I'm reading this yet. I'm gonna sit on it for like an hour or so. Basically, it's about this girl, and Kai, I don't know her name, and she is a fangirl, and she's kind of, like, she's a fangirl, but she likes shipping people together. She kind of just stands in the background and, like, ships people from afar. And then all of a sudden she becomes skinny, which is the big problematic thing of this whole series, and I still think it's problematic, though I'm still reading it. And then all of a sudden all the boys start to notice her, and then she has, like, 4 guys pursuing her. So it's kind of, like, it feels like in a tome game, in the sense that there's, like, all these guys who are currently trying to date her. And this one we definitely explored the fact that, like, they kind of want to date her and they want alone time with her and they're all trying to pursue her and stuff like that, and they kind of got jealous. Like, a lot of the first volume was just, like, fun time of all of them hanging out. This one definitely explored the more side of them, you know, like, all, like, wanting alone time with her and stuff like that. My favorite's still the same. It's this guy. I always forget, I don't know why, but, like, characters in manga's names, like, I don't know what it is, but him, I'll show you, he's right here on the cover. He's my favorite, just for the fact, first of all, he has this, like, great understanding of her and her world. Like, he's so, like, interested in that, and is so supportive, I feel like, more than the other guys. Like, the other guys seem to more just like her because she's pretty. They also had an existing relationship before this whole thing happened, where, like, they hung out a little bit, and I feel like he liked her even back then, to be honest, so there's, like, I feel like nothing ever changed for him, and he's just always been, you know, like, sweet on her, and I love him. He's a little cinnamon roll. I love that guy. They're just, like, really cute, and I, like, love the way that he, specifically him more so, I like the way that he's, like, just so supportive of, like, her fandom world, and, like, he understands it, even though, like, if he's not, like, a part of it, and I like how there was a cute scene in the last volume that I loved, and, like, where they were talking about, like, her favorite fictional character, and it was just real sweet. And this one, too, they went to I think it was, like, a manga convention or something like that, and, their guys are picking up a bunch of books for her or mangas for her that she can't go get, and so, like, they can all, like, meet back faster and go to do some karaoke together, and most of the guys are like, oh, this is interesting, this is kind of weird, but, like, he's, like, he talks to, like, the authors and stuff like that. He's like, wow, did you draw all this? Like, wow, that's so amazing, and he's complimenting them, and, like, there was a part, let me see if I can find it, where the author girls, they're like, is he an angel? And I'm like, yes, he is. He's so precious, and I love this boy. I'm debating if it's between, like, a 3 and a 3.5. It was fun. I enjoy the series. It's my guilty pleasure series, because I realize and acknowledge that the series has problems, but it's still super fun to read. Plus, I just really want to see them get together. So I don't know what the angle looks like right now. I hope it's okay. It's Wednesday now. I'm remembering the days. I finished These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, and I gave it 5 stars. It was words to describe this book. I'm in love with it. I'm like actually in love with this book. So much good stuff happened. Like, it was just, I feel like it just killed it in every single category. It just like killed everything. I loved it. I adored it. It was my perfect kind of sci-fi book. Like, I feel like this is like all I would want in a sci-fi book. I don't read a lot of science fiction books, so I have been in the mood for that lately. Like, science fiction books with like a cute romance in it. Like, I don't know. Like, I've just been trashed for that. Like, that's what I've been wanting to read, and this is exactly what I wanted. It's like light sci-fi in the sense that like it's so easy to understand. There's nothing that's like super complicated that you're like, this doesn't make sense or anything like that. Like, I just found it so easy to understand and to read, because I feel like a lot of sci-fi books, like a lot of them are like super difficult, and that's why I don't really reach for sci-fi. There's very few sci-fi I pick up. I adored the romance in this. I feel like that's a given. I thought it was so sweet and cute and fluffy and adorable, and just like made my heart swoon, and like I just wanted them to be happy together. Like, that's like what I kept rooting for. You really root for these characters, as if they're really the only 2 characters you get to know in the book, and you see from both their perspectives. I thought the development of their relationship worked so well. It was like hate to love, and it was done perfectly. This is my perfect kind of hate to love. I'm very specific when it comes to hate to love or bad boys relationship. I feel like I compare those two. They seem the same in my brain sometimes. But I feel like, because like, I'm in a lot of bad boy relationships are hate to love, so that's the specific reason for that. I feel like with hate to love relationships, they just need to be done well, and I needed to see like when they hated each other, when they stopped hating each other, when they started becoming friends, and then realizing there was something more between them. This had the perfect development for that. It had my perfect amount of like development, slow burn, building up to the relationship, and then it also had like the perfect amount of including the relationship and letting us, the readers, see them together. It was just so well done, and I'm like in such awe of this book, and like I'm in love with this book. I just keep gushing about it to like everyone I know. Like, I feel like I've told like everyone about this book, and I'm like, please pick it up. It's wonderful. Especially, I liked the narration parts where like Tarver's being interviewed. I loved those, and like the way it was done in the audiobook. Like, I feel like it was so atmospheric, and you were really put in like the place of that. I adore these characters so much. They like have like woven their way and like a special place in my heart, and like I was almost brought to tears. I didn't full on sob, but like I was pretty close to tears. This book just blew my mind away. I love this book so much. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. Like I said, I think I was originally saying like, between a 3 and a 4 star originally. Wow, that has changed. Then I opened my mind, I'm like, wait, this could be a 5-star book. And then all of a sudden my brain was like, oh my goodness, this is a 5-star book. This is wonderful. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody but me. If you haven't picked up this book yet, I know it's like kind of like an older in a sense, and it's not quite talked about as much on BookTube anymore, but if you haven't picked this book up, I highly recommend it. I know the Illuminae files are pretty more well known over this series, but I highly recommend this book. I'm going to pick up the rest of the series. I have the second audiobook. It came in like right away, so I'm so excited about it. For now, I have to stop talking about this book and how wonderful and amazing and just perfect it was. I love it, this book, so much. I need to buy myself my own copy. This is a library book, if you're wondering. So I don't actually own my own copy, but I need to get one because I adored it so much that I need to own it. So then I picked up The Betrothed. I have not really read much of this to give you much of an update or any opinions on it, but so far it's fine. I've like really like only listened to like 20 minutes of it. I don't know if it's a love triangle or if like she's supposed to fall in love with someone else. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to fall in love with someone else, but maybe there's a love triangle that I'm not aware of. Basically what this book's about, if you haven't heard about it, it's about this girl named Hollis, and I'm pretty sure it's historical fiction if I'm correct. And there's like, I think she's gonna end up being betrothed or like engaged to the king, and she's happy with that and stuff, but then she meets like I'm pretty sure she's gonna meet some boy or something, and they're gonna fall in love instead, and then she'll be like, oh, this is real love or something. I don't know. That's my guess. I don't quite know. I haven't really gotten this far into it to tell you quite, but that's from what I know. I'm pretty sure is what this book's about. This is Kiera Cass's new book, and I've been so excited for this for like so long now that I'm so excited to read it. I remember her like posting about it, and I'm like, I just want to read this book because like you know, like, I love Kiera Cass, I love her writing. I'm gonna probably pick that up again soon. I also really want to pick up The Silence Between Us. I was thinking about this book today. If I can hold it the proper way. There we go. The Silence Between Us I've been, like, reading for a few weeks now. I feel like I keep talking about it in a bunch of my reading vlogs, and I haven't finished it yet. So the goal is to finish this book because I am adoring it and I loved it so much. I've been loving it and I'm like, I could have gotten through this so quickly, but for some reason it's just taking me a little bit longer, but I'm gonna finish this as well. I almost when I have more energy, but we're just gonna do it as is. Hey guys, it's like later at night, it's 12:50, so like it's Thursday. So I mean technically it's Thursday, but it's like 12:50 at night. I've been reading The Betrothed by Kiera Cass, and I'm like about 2 hours into it. Basically, I think I have like more of an idea what the plot's about now to tell you more. So basically, this girl, Hollis, has been raised, I think she's been like kind of somewhat raised in the palace, or I don't really know the gist of it, but she's been, I don't know, raised to somehow like, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say seduce the king, but like, because that's not the words they use, but she's trying to like marry the king. It's kind of been, I guess, her parents' goal for her. The king, or aka wannabe Maxon 2.0, he is basically, he's the king. Where am I going with this synopsis? I feel like I did a terrible job at explaining things. Basically, girl meets king, king wants to marry girl, Hollis, and then these like other country has like some like bad royals or something like that, and these people, lords I guess, are escaping from the palace to come to this other country and like seek shelter and refuge, and that's where she meets Silas, and I believe they're gonna fall in love or something like that, but she's also like engaged to the king and she likes him, but like she's like, oh, this is what love feels like, and it's like, no honey. And then she's gonna probably talk with Silas and be like, this is what love really means, and she can't stop like staring at Silas. We haven't really got a lot of scenes with him so far. From the synopsis I thought more of like commoner. It seems like he's a lord. Is he, like, I think his dad's a lord or something like that. I don't quite know. I thought it was going to be more like a commoner thing, like a poorer person, but he doesn't seem like he's a commoner. So, I was listening to the audiobook and I'm like, this voice sounds familiar. Like, I swear I know it from somewhere. And turns out it's Carly from The Good Doctor. I don't know if you guys watch that show or not. It's one of my favorite shows. That's pretty cool. And I was like, oh, that's where I know this voice from. So that's been fun. But now I can't stop picturing the main character as her. I think my overall like feelings of it is meh. I have to like really pay attention when reading it. I was on my Instagram and I was sorting my Let's Plays out, and I couldn't even concentrate doing that. Like, I couldn't concentrate on the book. I ended up having to go back a bit from what I'd read and like recap and be like, what did I read again? Like, I feel like I have to really concentrate on it. It's not really at a point where like I can't like not concentrate on it, which doesn't really make it a good in a sense audiobook to listen to when you're trying to do stuff, because you need to like, I feel like I need to pay attention, and I wasn't paying attention a lot of the time. I think I would just know what's going on now for the most part, but I think overall it's pretty a meh book. I'm not really attached to anybody. I feel like the main character is really one-dimensional. Like, she's so boring. Like, I gotta say, like, I feel like she has no dimension. She's just supposed to be, like, this perfect little angel girl, and maybe that's because she got so much criticism about America. I don't know. But, like, I'd take America over this girl any day. I'm just saying. She's just, like I feel like she's, like, no character. Like, there's nothing interesting about her. She's just like a robot to me. She sounds like a robot, honestly. Let's be real. She's a robot. That's my new theory, that Hollis is a robot. So it's at that point in the night. I just don't care about her. I mean, like, I kind of care about her, and like I'm excited to see where things go and stuff, just because I love Kiera Cass. But I feel like she's just boring. But she's a nice girl. She seems to do, like, everything right and perfect. She, like, worries, like, oh, what if I mess up? And then he's, like, the king is, like, oh, just be yourself. Like, it's fine. I'm like, what is herself? Like, I don't know who that is. Maybe because I'm, like, 2 hours into the book, so, like, I can't really judge it because, like, we're still getting to know her. But just from, like, what I've, like, read of her, like, she's so, like, all these characters just are so plain to me. Unlike the Selection series, where I feel like these characters are a lot more dimensional. Like, you would, like, America is an iconic character that everyone remembers as being, like, super indecisive, and, you know, she had, like layers, so many layers to her, and, like, there were so many things that made her tick and stuff. Like, America is a great character, and, like, well-developed, and, like, well thought out, and, like, she's, like, well-dimensional. Same with Maxon, I would say, and Aspen. Like, there's so many, like, they're not plain at all. Like, these characters have stuck in my heart for how many years, and I know, like, all of their names. I just feel like the characters are so plain. Like, Wannabe Maxon is, like, just this, like, boring king that makes me, like, not sympathizing with him at all. Like, he's just boring. I feel like sometimes in stories, all princes are the same. Hence why I usually go for the funny court jester instead. I feel like a Jameson, there's nothing, he's a king, but still, there's nothing unique about him. Like, I don't care about him. Like, he's not swoon worthy. Like, I just do not care. I feel like this is just like a reverse selection story where she ends up with Aspen instead, except Aspen is more slow burn than insta-lovey, and she hasn't known Aspen for, like, her whole life or whatever. I mean, like, when she talks about, like, Jameson, there's, like, cute moments, but, like, he's not for her. I feel like she's gonna end up with Silas. I don't know if it's a love triangle or not. I haven't really gotten that far to decipher if it's a love triangle. I feel like I'm babbling off, and, like, my thoughts are just, like, not making sense. Like, it's too late at night for me to be filming this, because I'm saying the most random crap right now. So my thoughts aren't really quite in order. I'm still gonna continue reading this book. I have, like, 5 hours left, so that's probably what that's probably what I'm gonna do for the rest of the night is, while I go to sleep, is listen to the audiobook of that and do whatever else I want. So that is all for now. So good night, everybody, and I'll see you in, like, 5 seconds for my next update on Thursday. So unless I don't read anything, wow, what if I don't update you guys on Thursday? I'll probably still update you. I don't exactly remember what I said in the last clip, whether I was wrong or right. But it's Thursday, so I did update you guys today. It's a miracle. I never update on Thursdays. And before, it's usually because it's my busiest day of the week, so I'm like, I'm not reading, so I'm not going to tell you anything. Obviously, times have changed. Thursday is now my, like, most free day of the week, for the most part. I'm about halfway through the Betrothed by Kirikas. What happened to my voice? I'm not loving it. At all. I have about the same meh feeling I've had about a lot of the books I've been reading lately, which is so just meh, plain, boring. Don't know what else to tell you. I feel like it's not as bad as the Karen Whittemire books I read, but I think I put it in the middle of all the 3 stars I've given recently, so, like, it's, like, just above the Karen Whittemire books, but, like, wouldn't say it's above Honey Don't List or Kiss Quotient. I actually feel like those were better than this one. I'm very disappointed by this book. I'm about halfway, and I'm gonna continue to finish it just because I feel like it's Kira Cass, and, like, even though I don't really care that much, I'm going to finish it, plus it's pretty quick and easy to get through. I mentioned before the characters are one-dimensional, and I was hoping we'd get some development. At least, like, about halfway through the book, I would feel like there should be some development going on, and sadly there's not any development. Like, all of a sudden she's in love with this boy who she's not supposed to be in love with, and I don't care for him or her or any of the characters in this book. And I find that's also because I feel like they don't really have real-life qualities. I get that they're in, like, you know, this, like, situation where, like, I guess real-life things don't essentially, like, it's more, like, it's a royal palace thing, like, they're in a palace for, like, the whole book. That's what the whole story takes place, inside this palace. I don't think they've barely gone outside. And that's something I really love. I love, like, stories that are set in a palace, and, like, ball of royalty, and there's balls. I love a forbidden romance trope, star-crossed lovers, that's what they are, and I don't care for it. Like, there's all these tropes that would make me love a book, but I'm not loving it. Plus, it's Kira Cass. Like, I feel like that in itself would make me love a book. I think there's not really any real-life characteristics about these characters, and I get, like I said before, takes place somewhere different from, you know, like, our own world. But I feel like even with the selection, if we're comparing it back to that, which I keep doing, which is very easy to do because they're both royalty books, so I feel like that's a fair comparison. Plus, they're both by this author, so it's a fair comparison in my opinion. My mom was like, well, isn't, like, the selection characters, like, one-dimensional too? I'm like, no, they're not one-dimensional. First of all, they are not. Like, Marika goes through, like, real-life situations. There is some things that even Maxon goes through as a character that, like, is so hard to read about, but, like, it's real-life stuff that happens to people. I feel like this is just, like, there's nothing to relate to. I think in a sense, like, the most relatable thing would be maybe her getting nervous sometimes, but, like, I feel like I don't really feel those emotions that much. Like, I don't feel like I know these characters, and I'm, like, 50% into the book, and I feel like I should know these characters by this point. They don't really have, like, distinct characteristics. I'm not seeing them. A lot of them aren't really flawed, besides the fact that, like, Hollis is hurting her heart and going after this boy who she's probably not supposed to be with, because she's probably supposed to be with the king, even though they're not technically engaged, but it would be a whole scandal probably otherwise. And, like, I can't really differentiate one from the other besides, like, the three main characters. Like, there's some Delia girl, I think there's, like, two girls helping her, but, like, her ladies in waiting or something like that. But I have no idea how to differentiate when, like, which one's, like, the bad one and which one's the good one, because there's one that has, like, a more bad reputation. And then there's, like, a Lord Eaton, but, like, I'm pretty sure he's related to Silas, but maybe I'm wrong. And I guess there's, like, siblings, but, like, I keep forgetting about, like, all of these characters. And there was some Queen Valentina. I don't know if she was a queen. I'm trying to just finish this book as fast as I can so I can move on to something else, because I love Kirkas too much to DNF this book, but it's not great. Anyways, I will see you guys later on with another update. Hopefully more positive one. Maybe I'll come out loving this book. I highly doubt it, but I think at this point I'd know if I was going to love this book, and I'm not, so. I feel like that was an accurate representation of how I feel right now. It's Thursday night. I have updated you guys more than I do on Thursday, so yay me. So I finished The Betrothed by Kirkas, and I gave it 2 stars, which no one's more disappointed than I am that I have to give a Kirkas book 2 stars. I thought 3 was, like, the lowest I would go, but no, it's a 2-star. I feel like when I was talking about it earlier, I said, like, it wasn't as bad as the what's the Patchwork Family series, the More Than Words Can Say, What More Than You Can See, whatever, that one. I think I said I liked it better. I did like it better than the second book in that series. I know there's no comparison. I've just been reading a lot of 3 stars, 2-star lately, so that's where that comparison's coming in, if you're wondering. Like, there's no obviously comparison. In my head, I'm just thinking back about my past ratings, and I'm like, okay, like, can I give this book 3 stars? And I just felt like I couldn't, because there was nothing I liked about this book, honestly. I feel like 1 stars are kind of specified for, like, I absolutely despise this, and there was too many problematic elements. That's usually 1 stars. But this is a 2 star, so I feel like even that's, like, a little generous, because there was just nothing good about this book. I'm so disappointed, guys. Like, I did not want to give this 2 stars, but it's a 2 star. And I did not like this book. I really dislike this book. I don't really want to pick up the second one, but, like, my family will, like, look down upon me if I don't. I feel like if you've read the Selection series and you're gonna be expecting more than what you're gonna get, just don't go into it with that expectation that I did. I love the Selection series. I love the way she writes romances, so I'm gonna love this. No. The romance doesn't even compare. Like, no. This is a story about a romance with no romance, I gotta say. I just feel like a lot of people who've read the Selection series, which I think, like, anyone who read this book will probably have read the Selection series, but anyone who's read it is gonna be so underwhelmed. I feel like with this follow-up, or not follow-up, but, like, you know, like, it's a new book by Kirkas, and, like, you're just gonna be underwhelmed by it. I'm just telling you right now. I think I've explained the overall concept in the best way I can. I feel like it's kind of complicated explaining it, because I'm like, do I understand what this is about? Was there a plot? No, there was no plot to this book. The characters, I said, were really dull and plain. I still agreed with that towards the end of the story. The story is so insta-lovey because most of the scenes are, like, about politics and all that stuff, and while that's great with a story, especially about royalty, this story had too much of that. Like, it was overwhelming, and I felt like the main premise of the story was supposed to be the romance. Like, the politics didn't matter in the end. The characters felt really flat for the most part of the story. I didn't care about any of them. First, I think I told you guys that I thought Eaton was Silas's dad, and then I found out in a review that Eaton was Silas's cousin, and I'm like, wait, what? that, I feel like that kind of just shows right there that, like, no one was explained well at all. We had no idea what any of these characters look like. I'm just guessing, honestly. Like, there was no, like, character description on what the characters looked like whatsoever. It also really didn't help to distinct one character from the next. I felt like they all kind of blended in together. And apparently, Ethan is the cousin. Silas and Hollis interacted, like, 3 times and before kissing, and we're like, and she's like, this is what love is, and I'm like, y'all just met and know nothing about each other. To get non-spoilery, they make it far for the zero chemistry that they have. There was something I was not expecting at all to happen. I was like, wait, what? I think overall, this was very promising and sounded interesting and sounded like something I would like, but overall fell flat and had so much potential, but didn't live up to any of it. I don't have anything positive to say. I really wish I did, but I don't. Also, Kuroa sounds a lot like Corona, so I feel like this is an unfortunate time for this book to be released. I really don't like being negative about this book, honestly. Like, I feel like out of all the books that I've been reading recently, this is the one I hate being negative about the most, just because I was looking forward to it so much. It's like my most anticipated release of this entire year. Hi. Welcome back to another update with Emily. I'm not really in the mood for, like, romance contemporary books right now. Like, I'm just not. I haven't had the luck with a lot of the romances I've been reading lately. I've, like, basically hated them all. Unless you count These Broken Stars as a romance. I mean, like, it's a sci-fi romance in a sense. Like, there's a romance in it, but it's also, like, a survival. Like, there's other great things about These Broken Stars besides the romance, so that's a great part of it. So, I've just, like, not been in the mood for basically any of the stuff I usually love to read. So I've read 5 romances recently, and they've all been 3 or 2 stars, so I just feel like I haven't really been impressed with those. And instead, I want to read space books. I picked up Across the Universe by Beth Rivas, since I'm just, like, in a space mood. Here's Steve. Isn't he adorable? I love him. I have space books. That's all I need right now. I just want to read about space. I have a very specific taste in sci-fi books. Like, I feel like These Broken Stars is, like, my perfect sci-fi book. I haven't really talked about this books yet, but I started reading this book a few years ago, and I never finished it, and there's not really a good reason for it. Like, I feel like there's some books I just start and don't finish, but, like, it's not because I don't like them or whatever. I don't know what the case is. I'm just probably not in the mood for it at that point. This book, I remember I really liked, actually, when I read it for the first, like, 100 pages or so originally, and I'm still enjoying it. The book follows our 2 main characters, Amy and Elder. Amy and her parents boarded this spaceship, and they were put under this, like, hibernation. She's frozen, basically, and for, like, the next, like, 301 years, and when she wakes up, like, there'll be, like, a new planet for them to go to, like, start a new life and stuff on this planet. Her parents wanted to be involved, and she didn't want to leave her family, so she went with her parents to this new planet. We have Elder, who has basically been raised to lead the ship and become the next eldest. So the eldest of the ship has been training him, and he's going to end up Elder's going to lead the ship, like, once eldest passes away. He's going to be in charge of everything. And I think he sees Amy, and he kind of likes her. And then Amy ends up waking up 50 years early than she was supposed to, and there was, like, an attempt made on her life, basically. Someone was trying to kill her for whatever reason. There's a mystery. I guess it's called a space thriller. That's interesting. And I'm excited to continue on with this book. I think it's really entertaining. It's similar to the movie Passengers. This is the kind of space I like. I don't know. I feel like there's, like, a little bit of like, it's not too complicated to understand, and I like space stories like this. Hello. It's 5 p.m.-ish now, and I've been reading Across the Universe by Beth Rivas. I'm about halfway through this book. I'm on page 206 currently. I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel like as far as opinions go and, like, stuff I have to say, I usually have, like, more stuff to say about books I'm strongly disliking. This one I don't really have a lot to say about. I'm enjoying it, and that's the basis of it. How do you feel with the relationship? Yeah, I think it's cute, and I like the idea of it, and I like
seeing them together, but they kind of what? They kind of kissed kind of quickly, I guess. I feel like it's 200 pages in, so the thing is they just haven't really talked a lot yet. Like, there's been, I think, a few scenes of them together, but, like, you know, like, it's sci-fi, like, it's not, like, specifically about the romance, even if it follows both the characters, you know, like, so I don't really know what to tell you about that. I just want to see more scenes of them together. I mean, who knows, it's sci-fi, so that's not really, like, a big deal to me, plot-wise, I guess. I have some theories. Like, there's some things I've already been spoiled about, so, like, I'm not gonna talk about them, because, like, so, like, it kind of also taints, I guess, my view on the book, because I just know things that happened, because I got spoiled years ago, and I haven't forgotten it, and I'm never going to forget about it. I do have a theory, so I'll cut it out, this part out completely, if I'm right. It keeps kind of talking about her ex-boyfriend, Jason. I mean, like, technically he's her ex-boyfriend, because, you know, like, she left to go to this planet, or whatever. And I have a theory that, like, he was also frozen, but, like, I don't know, I feel like we keep talking about him, and maybe it's just because we're trying to build upon Amy's character and just her in general. Like, we haven't, like, talked about, like, her friends or anything like that. Like, I feel like her friends, like, did she have friends besides Jason? Like, I feel like if she had other friends, like, and they weren't gonna show up, then, like, they would have been, you know, talked about, right? We keep hearing about Jason, so, I don't know, I feel like he's frozen, and he's gonna show up on the ship, and then it's gonna be this whole big reveal. I don't know when, if it happens in this book, if it's gonna happen in, like, one of the other two books, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen. So, it's, like, I think 8 p.m. now, and I've made a bit of a chunk of the way through this. I went outside and kind of read for a bit. I more so listened to the audiobook while I was sitting outside, so I mean, like, it got me outside. I've been kind of following along. I'm on page 257. I don't think I'm going to get much farther in this tonight. I don't really plan on reading much more. But so far, I think it's been about the same opinions, that I'm enjoying it. I know my last clip kind of cut off a bit, so I'm sorry about that. I will say, there was something that shocked me. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Well, I kind of started suspecting it was going to happen, like, within this scene, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't good. It got pretty detailed and a bit graphic when it happened, so I'm just going to say trigger warning for a rape scene if you're interested in reading this book. That's what I've been reading. I would like to finish tomorrow Across the Universe. Tomorrow I'd like to finish this. And then I'd also like to finish The Silence Between Us. I'm going to try to pick that up before I pick up, like, any new audiobooks or anything like that. Hey guys, so it's Saturday. I haven't updated you guys at all today. I haven't really been reading a lot today. I edited my 48-hour reading vlog, so I'm uploading that currently so I can start getting back into the mood of editing things. I feel like I've gotten back into the mood or groove or whatever of filming videos, but I need to get back in the groove of posting them. Kind of been taking a hiatus. I haven't really been editing a lot and stuff, so that's, like, obviously taking a toll on my YouTube channel. But I have read today, I picked up The Silence Between Us by Alison Gervis. I am about, I keep holding this book upside down, but I am on page 252 currently, so I would like to finish this today. I don't have a lot left. Like, I have, like, I don't know, a few chapters left. I don't really have a lot left of this book, because this book, I don't know, for whatever reason took me so long. It's kind of hindering my enjoyment of it, because I feel like if I had read this book faster, I would have liked it more, and I really don't want to fault the book for that, so I'm kind of preparing to sit in my rating. It's kind of between, like, a 4.5, 4, or 5 star, and I don't really know what to give it at this point. I think I overall really enjoyed this book, and I think I had a lot more enjoyment towards the beginning of the book, and I loved seeing the characters, and I loved, like, all of them all, and I think this is just, like, a really good book in general, and I think it does a good job at what it's supposed to do. I think I like Beau better than Archer, but I think I liked Hadley and Archer's love story better. I think I think that Alison Gervis did a good job, like, for, I don't know, researching, and then, like, but, like, it's also an own voices story, so I think it's just really good. I enjoyed it, I think, as much as I was expecting to. When I bought this book, I was really excited about it, and it lived up to my expectations. So it's Sunday, and I have finished The Silence Between Us by Alison Gervis, and I gave this 4 stars. Overall, I think this is a really good book. I enjoyed it. You're probably like, why didn't you give it 5 stars? You were gonna give it 5 stars. You kept talking about it. How is it gonna be 5 stars? I think originally I was gonna give it 5 stars. For majority of the book, I was gonna give it 5 stars, and then I feel like the last little bit kind of fell a little flat for me. I overall really liked this book. I think this is a great follow-up for I mean, it's not really, I don't know, follow-up? It's different, it's completely separate from In 27 Days, but it was fun to read. I quite enjoyed it. I loved Bo. I loved her friends. They were all, like, so sweet and supportive, and it was just a fun time. I don't know what if I've told you about this book and this vlog, but basically this is about a deaf girl named Maya, and she's going to a hearing school for the first time since she has lost her hearing. I liked how the story was written. She author did like a good job differentiating from when they were speaking to each other and when they were signing. When they were speaking to each other, it kind of like let you like fill in the gaps of what people were saying, because like lip reading is difficult to do. They even like showed like finger spelling, and like even when like the ASL was written, it was written in the way that ASL is essentially like used, because like American Sign Language is like not exactly like, it's not just like spoken English. It's not said the same way that English is. There's different, I guess, grammar ways with ASL. I enjoyed reading it. I had a fun time. I will read anything else in Gervis writes. I want to read more of her Wattpad books because I haven't picked them up yet, but I know she has more Wattpad books that I just haven't read. I think the thing I think struggled with, I guess, towards the end of the book, was there was this thing between her and Bo, and I kind of just felt like that it was really out of character for Bo to do this thing, especially like even like the setting and time that he decided to do this thing. 4 stars, and I'm going to go write my review. So that is that. So it's like 8 p.m. and I finished Across the Universe. I gave it 4 stars. There was nothing I can tell you that was wrong with this book. I feel like it just needed that extra oomph, so it's kind of sitting between a 4 and a 4.5. I think that's really my only reasoning, is that I don't have the extra oomph that like a 5-star gives. I really liked this book. This vlog's already too long as it is. Emily editing is going, oh, I'm almost done. It's got a lot of plot twists, I guess, unloaded into one. I'm confused by, I don't know, I guess people's reactions. We're gonna say I'm confused by people's reactions at like the very, very end. Before that, we got like a bunch of plot twists, I guess, unloaded on us about the characters and stuff like that. And in some capacity, I was right. I wasn't really right. But in some capacity, technically, I mean, right? I feel like it was scary at some points, just like thinking about like the things that the characters are going through and like putting yourself in that situation, and you're like, oh my goodness, like I understood like all of the characters' emotions and like being in the situation that they're in and like why, like how they feel, and like I get it. There was also this cool thing about like just history and like about Earth in general and how like it had been changed and stuff. I guess it's kind of a plot twist. I'm curious where the next book's gonna go. What's gonna happen next, as there's a lot of new stuff. I feel like I'm still kind of somewhat shocked. Let's talk about the romance, because I feel like I'm pretty, like, I read a lot of romance, so I know what I like and what I don't. They kissed once, and it was, like, pretty, I feel like it was halfway, but, like, close to the beginning of the book. They didn't really know each other at that point, and I feel like they got to know each other, like, quite a lot throughout the rest of the story, and then, like, it was, like, it still seemed, like, somewhat platonic. Like, he liked her, but, like, we didn't really know how she felt, and so, I don't know, I felt the kiss was out of place. Nothing really changed after they kissed. Like, they were just platonic, and they were hanging out, and she was still trying to get over her ex-boyfriend. I just don't think it was necessary in this book. I think if we wanted to get the characters together, I think we could have done that, like, in the second book or something like that. Still so many questions. Usually that's what a first book does, I guess, is give me a lot of questions. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. I'm going to check out the rest of the books in the series because I'm all in read space right now. Alright, so it is Monday, so that means it's come to an end of another week. So let's wrap up everything I read this week. I read a total of 5 books this week, which I think is like the most I've read for a reading vlog or even lately. Been really enjoying reading. That's been my main distraction from like everything. So the first book I completed was a manga, and that was Kiss Him Not Me Volume 2. This story basically is about this girl, and she's a fangirl, and she loves this anime, but then her favorite character gets killed off, and then she's like crying in her room for a week where she all of a sudden becomes skinny, and I guess all the boys start to notice her. This one I gave 3 stars along with the last one. They're fun to read, they're quick and easy, they're somewhat weird, but like also relatable sometimes as well. Just a fun time. Next one we have is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, which I gave 5 stars. This book is about Lilac and Tarver, and they are on this spaceship, and once the spaceship starts to crash, they manage to get on an escape pod together and crash land on a planet where there are the only 2 people on this planet, so they have to figure out how to survive, how to get off this planet, but like also fall in love along the way. It's a hate to love relationship. Then I picked up The Betrothed by Kiera Cass. This was my most anticipated release of 2020, as Kiera Cass is one of my all-time favorite authors, and this one was my least favorite book of hers. It was an absolute disappointment to me. This book is about this girl named Hollis who is, I guess, going to marry King Jameson. He's kind of chosen her to marry, so they have like this betrothal arrangement, and she's happy with it until this other family comes to the palace seeking like refuge and safety from their like other monarchy from like another country or something like that. And there's a boy named Silas who Hollis notices, and they fall in love, I guess. I did not like this. I gave it 2 stars, which I feel like is still generous, honestly. Then I finally completed The Silence Between Us by Alison Gervis. This is about a deaf girl who is going to a hearing school for the first time since she lost her hearing. This is an Own Voices novel, as Alison Gervis is hard of hearing, and I gave it 4 stars. It was a fun time, and I would recommend this one as well. And the final book I completed was Across the Universe by Beth Rivas. This is a space book. As you know, I have been talking nonstop about space and everything space. This book follows our main character Amy and Elder. Amy is this girl, and her parents are going onto this spaceship, and they're going to be frozen in hibernation for 300 years. Amy is kind of worried about leaving, but she ends up deciding to leave anyways, and that's when she all of a sudden ends up waking up 50 years early, and there's like a mystery involving that. Then we meet Elder, who is like next in line to be the next like eldest, which is basically the person that like rules over the ship, and he's like being trained, but he's starting to realize that like not everything is as it seems, and there's things that he doesn't know about this whole ship and stuff. So it's like described as a space thriller, which I think I would agree with. If you like space and you like thrillers, then like check this out. I give it 4 stars. So those are all the books that I picked up this week. Let me know what you guys are currently reading, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye. All we need is somebody to